Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 161 of Interview with a Man, brought to you on this November the 21st of the year of our Lord, 2019. Good Lord, the year's almost over, and quite honestly, I had a great year. How about you guys? Has it been great? This is Gotta say, this has probably been one of my best years. Welcome, everybody. Good to have everybody in here. Instagram stream is already fired up, ready to roll. How's everybody doing? I did a little bit of some streaming this yesterday, last night, on the Masculine Geek Show. I don't know if anybody caught me over there, but Vince is a great guy. He's the one leading up that thing, and we're actually talking about doing like a Masculine Geek / Hot Dude Con meetup in Vegas next year. So keep your ears to the ground. But more importantly, don't forget, December 2nd, next Monday, it's my birthday. I'm going to outlive Jesus Christ as I turn 34 years old. And I'm giving you something away on my birthday. That's right. All you need to do is check out my promo for the fitness course, Body Fitness Max. It is the most simplified A to Z video breakdown explaining basic exercise, nutrition, and health. Gentlemen, to be honest with you, this whole week, I mean, let's be honest, who's been watching my old Instagram, right? If you want to follow me on Instagram, check me out, Instagram.com/Modern Life Dating. Let's take a look. See here. Look, this has been my life lately. I've been literally living this. Let's take a look at my story. That's Max. We'll skip that. But we got a new one today. So I woke up and got my supplementations that I took. I took an Ambien and I ordered like $150 worth of supplements, and they arrived today. Been eating these Muscle Farm Combat Crunch bars. Pretty good. A little heavy on the calorie side. They're 210 calories with 20 grams of protein, but 25 grams of carbs. I like Quest better, but I got these because I was, ambient out of my brain. Obviously, I went to the gym today. This was the gym in the middle of the day. This is 2:30 in the afternoon, so gym hack if you live in Tokyo. Middle of the day, almost nobody's there. So just focusing really hardcore on the form. I don't know if you can see my butt's actually touching this seat in the background. I'm doing this just for form. So I say, hey, form police, let's see what you got to say. Did that, then moved that and got out of the way. Started doing some just little regular squats. This is just 135. I'm just focusing 100% on form and going slow and controlled with the movements. And then I switch over to goblet squats. This is 30 kilograms. So that's like, I don't know, fucking more than 45 pounds. So probably like 60 pounds, give or take. Yeah, 60 pounds is what I'm doing right there. So doing those with the fresh new kicks on. Been really embracing the fitness thing. Did a little bit of cardio, and I only did like 17 minutes of this because I ended up having to go to the bathroom and then get home to sort some stuff out. Got some beet latte. Just me right there, ready for. I don't know why that's timestamp for a while ago. Nunchuck Master. And then there's all the supplements I got. So I got some 5-HTP, vitamin D, NO Explode, going back to the original good stuff. Some eye care, some like skin care, just the thinnest skin around your eye. On your human bodies, actually, the skin under your eyes is the thinnest skin. And then, yeah. So I got that going for me. Then I'm doing a little bit of tracking and everything. But, yeah, the whole – I didn't eat this. My friend ate that. This I did eat. This is gyoza. I did eat gyoza. But, yeah, this whole course coming up is it's really going to kind of dive into the fitness thing. I got to say, this whole week I've been living like 80% max fitness warrior, right? Just like everything tracked, being pretty meticulous with my calories and macros and all that stuff. And I got to say, I've just been like, all I've been doing is just like lifting weights and working out and eating right and resting. And I gotta say, life is not bad, man. Life is not bad. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling spry. What's up, Rick Torres, my man? So December 2nd, this program's coming out. It's 100% for free. All you got to do is go to the same sign-up page as always, modernlifedating.com/body language. Click on this link right here. It says this is a body language sign-up, but it's also the one for Body Fitness Max. Just put your best email address in right there. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. All you need to do is put your email address so you can get a notification when it goes live on December 2nd, my birthday. So until then, who wants to see today's version of the promotion? It got a little bit of a Eastern touch to it now. Give me a 1 in the chat if you are ready to see the new promotion. I only added a little bit, but we're gonna slowly add stuff to this little by little, day by day. And then we're going to get into today's topic, which today's topic is going to be really interesting. I accidentally found this just by browsing YouTube, but this is going to really cut deep, and it's going to go deep into psychology. As you guys know, I have my bachelor's in science and psychology, so this is actually the guy, Philip Zimbardo, his VHS service is the reason I actually decided to make the jump into psychology when I was in high school. So it took 2 years of psychology in high school. Then from there, just continued into my upper education. Got a bunch of 1s in the chat. Let's do this. Who's ready? Where is it? Here we go. Oh, you guys are not ready. December 2nd, Body Fitness Max. You actually get that training with Tanaka Sensei. He actually comes to your house and beats the shit out of you with bamboo rods. That's module 17. So get ready for that one. And if you're not ready, just skip module 17. Guys, just remember, by the end of the year, that all of my pricings and everything is going to change for the next year. So if you want to book a consultation, go ahead and click on that link right there, streamlabs.com/Modern Life Dating Channel, and you will be able to send $70 to get a 1-hour consultation with yours truly, where we talk about whatever you need to talk about: dating, health, fitness, sex, relationships, money, super fitness, the whole 9 yards, operating at a top level. If you want to be Chad Max, let me know. Book a consultation. Those rates will be going up by next year. I have a couple of people who want consultations. I have about 4 people that want consultations, and I have I got 5 people I need to catch up with, hunting these people down to do their consultations. What a majestic leader I am, huh? Sounds like a fucking pterodactyl at the end. That's Godzilla, my friend. So before we get started, finally, please do follow me on Twitter. I'm at 369 followers now, at Hot Dude Life. Really being a good Christian boy with this Twitter. No people are messing with me. Just really doing, and even if they do, I just block them immediately. So really, really doing my best to keep this account. Really like the username. So not going to get pulled deep into the YouTube, the kind of Twitter psychology game where they're you get baited into the whole Twitter sphere. Good Lord, what a fucking headache. Rick Torres with the late one. Hey, all that matters is the support. So yeah, let's talk about what we got going on here today, yeah? So we're going to talk about our boy, Dr. Philip Zimbardo. Now, For those of you who don't know who Dr. Philip Zimbardo is, he's actually the main clinical psychologist that was behind the Stanford prison experiment. I don't know if you guys heard about the Stanford prison experiment. Fascinating study. Absolutely fascinating. How they discussed, how basically prisoners and guards were assigned as roles to regular students, and how they, adhered to these roles almost like sheep-like wise, and at the end of the in the middle of the study, he decided the study it was getting too crazy and people were getting too cruel, so they canceled the study, and a lot of people kind of were like, he was critically acclaimed, if you will, but this man is a very educated guy, and he makes some really good points here. This is at a TED event at, I guess, is Rawa River Salon. Dude, the fuck if I know. I just was happening to browse through YouTube, and anything, related to men's issues in psychology usually piques my interest a bit. Privateer Solutions, what's up? Becoming evil due to their appointed positions. Yes, that's what he's talking about. And the guards abuse their powers. Exactly. Edvardis, what's up, buddy? Good to have you in here. So yeah, let's listen on in, because this is actually very interesting. I'm just gonna give my commentary along the way with a little bit. He does it from a little bit of a blue pill perspective. When you add a little bit of red pill into this, it's very interesting. Let's pay attention.
So I'm here to sound an alarm. It is a problem in every country around the world, and today I'm going to argue it's only going to get worse unless we begin to do some important remedial changes. Boys are failing in school, as I said. They're failing in business. They're failing socially, and even failing sexually. They're becoming obese. In America, we call it fat ass nation. And the point is, and they are creating nothing. They are consuming. If you play video games and you watch porn, you are a consumer in the worst sense, and you end up creating nothing. And so where is the next generation of young men coming that are going to help our society? And for every woman in the audience, where will you find a good man? And that's the title of the Polish book. But it's not a phase. People say, well, boys have always gone through a...
And I know some of you guys may be saying, oh, this guy's effeminate. What does he know about masculinity? He's pretty old now. I mean, so his testosterone levels are just naturally going to drop. But this guy, when he was younger, too, he was very sharp. He's always been a smart man. And, this guy, he noticed a pattern in what's going on a kind of a global scale, says that boys are failing in the education system. I would say I would agree with the reason some boys are failing in the education system is because it's a two-part thing. One, I could obviously, you guys know I have my background as a elementary school teacher, middle school teacher, high school teacher, the whole education history I have here in Japan, right? So when you're a teacher, you're able to see what kids are gonna be like, and you can look at a kid, and I can look at a little kid and be like, that kid's a little alpha male. He just has this little rebellious energy about him, just like this unbridled masculinity, this young anger, this young, it's all good stuff. It's just very manly, and I would hate when I would always try to do it as minimal as possible out of principle. But you always have to corral that kid and kind of break that kid and be like, hey, stop, sit down. You have to break the kid's spirit, really, make him conform. And I would try to do this as least as possible, because the current traditional education system, it could use some improvements for boys, because girls and boys, they learn completely different. Girls, when I was teaching camp, right, we had this Japanese summer camp that was all these kids, probably close to 100 kids, got together, and we studied English in some of the mountains of Osaka, right? probably like I said, anywhere between like 50 to 75, maybe 100 kids. A bunch of counselors, about 10 counselors, and we're all just overseeing the little kids as we have our English camp, right? And so what I noticed is like we had segmented the boys and the girls. So the girls, I went and checked on the girls just to see if they're doing first, right? Just because the way things were set up, it was like they were here, and then I was staying with the boys. So I would check on the girls and then go stay with the boys, right? So I go in the girls' room. They all their backpacks are neatly up against the wall, and they're all sitting around. They're very quiet. They're reading books. They're giggling. They're being girls, right? And then I go over to the boys section. The boys had they had taken their backpacks and arranged 2 layers. There was one circling layer around the room, and then in the middle they had made a circle of backpacks, and they were having sumo wrestling matches in the middle, like seeing which boy was the strongest, right? This is all of their own volition, right? They were all just, this is what they're doing. And when you walk into like the boys' room, it's like Fight Club. Like they're screaming, they're yelling at each other, they're cheering on their friends. Like it's a complete different atmosphere. I loved it too. I ended up refereeing for the kids, and we fucking had a good time. But there are inherent differences in between men and women, which I guess they're trying to like blur that line or something in the United States. It's kind of weird, to be honest with you. But, you know, the brains of a man and a woman operate differently, okay? We each have our strengths and weaknesses as 2 different genders. So this current education system, I think it's more of a feminized system. It's more suited to kind of calm the boys down, and you know, guys are usually filled with energy and they want to get up, they want to jump, they want to explore. That's just what we are. And the system is a little bit more catering towards girls' natural nature. So that's why I think one indicator here is of why the boys are failing. He actually is going to go pretty deep. This is going to be a long episode, but I'm going to go into extreme psychological depth with this guy, because I think that it's important to know that even if you feel like things are changing, or you're like, you just want to make sure like you just like don't want to feel you're crazy, like this is the episode for you. This is the one that really is going to clear up a lot of questions that you had in your head, or really just like maybe sometimes we just have lingering doubts. But yeah, let's continue checking this one out, because like I said, this is a great one.
Changes. This is not temporary. This is permanent. So here are some of the individual factors. Political correctness. Men have a set of rules about what they should not do, but we don't really tell them clearly what they should do in order to be a man in our society.
Very true. We've lost like rites of passages. You know, there's just like there's no celebration. You know, like sure, like, you know, girl, she gets her like quinceañera or whatever. She has her sweet 16 or something like that. But there is really no any more kind of passage of rite of passage into masculinity. That's why I did what I did with Japan. I was like, you know, I want to make my own rite of passage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking made up the craziest thing. I said, if I can go to Japan by myself and survive for 2 years with only $2,500 and just fucking pure old-fashioned American grit and determination, if I could survive over here by myself, not having to go home to ask mom and dad for money, or giving up early or whatever, if I could do the 2 years out here, I would consider myself a real man. That was like my personal rite of passage, and I did that. And I got to say, it was very, very gratifying. And not a lot, you know, a lot of people don't live their life like I do, and that's probably why I have a pretty interesting life. I live a life in an extreme way to an extent, but it's been really beneficial so far. But I think that's what he's talking about, that there's no rite of passage. There's no, like, we tell men, don't do this, but do this. Like, there is no official guide, if you will. I mean, it used to be our fathers. It used to be in the household, but with the way with divorce and stuff is going, you know, it's like I'm a man. I don't know how to raise a girl. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fucking bullshit people. But I do know how to raise a man. And the same way, a lot of moms that I know and used to date and whatever, they would just be like, I just don't know how to teach my young man how to be a man. And only a man can teach another man how to be a man. That's it. So that's what he's talking about here. And I think a big part of it is the whole divorce epidemic, because you got a lot of moms that are just using the divorce course just setting up something for a financial income. That's all it is. They just strategically get married to some guy and then use the divorce courts, and they're set with alimony and child support, but they don't really factor in how it fucks up the kids, because divorce, the person that gets the most fucked up in divorce is the children. The second most is the husband, and then the wife pretty much the last. She gets she gets financially compensated for it. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. So just thinking about that, I think that's one thing that he's talking about here as well.
So the old traditional roles no longer fit. The old roles was to be a warrior or a breadwinner. What's interesting now, most societies are in transition. As women excel, as women are doing better and better, there's a whole set of new gender roles that we need to discuss and put into action. Girls and women, I said, are excelling at levels that we have never imagined. The younger generation of women are the legacy, the pride of women's liberation from the 70s and 80s. And they create a new problem for boys, because girls are doing better and better while boys are doing worse and worse. So the boys are opting out of a confusing world. They're isolating themselves in a safer, simple place. Janusz is in his room. They're going into virtual worlds. What's good about the virtual world for them, the objectives are clear. They have control over the outcomes. They have no fear. You never get rejected as long as you practice, because practice will make perfect. Young men are trapped in what we call present hedonistic mode. As some of you know, I have done lots of research on the psychology of time perspective. And there are many different time zones that each of us live in. Some of us live in the past, some in the present, some in the future. Young men, in general, are more present-oriented than older people in the society. But when you get trapped in the present hedonistic mode, all you want is pleasure and avoid pain. You never plan. You never have contingencies. You never set an agenda. You cannot succeed in any society if you are present hedonistic. You must be.
It's very important there. You see, a lot of guys, he talks about it. A lot of guys, they get caught being comfortable. Really, what it is, they get caught being comfortable. You know, porn, video games, instant food. You know, it's all fine and dandy for a little bit, but eventually, this type of like stagnation lifestyle catches up to you. And I got guys who, next thing you know, they tell me, shit, man, I just woke up. I'm 45. My whole life passed me by. I've just been surfing on the couch, and now I realize that I want some shit out of my life, and I want, I take the red pill, and I want to fucking move on and do some shit, and I can't believe I wasted all the time. So that's the thing, man. You can't get caught in like this short-term game. You got to play the long game always. Always plan for the long term, because if you plan for the long term, it means you're betting on yourself. And it's always good to bet on yourself, because even if you fail, you can reassess and make it happen. You could reassess, recalculate, and do what you need to do. Do what you originally set out to do. Let me see. Boy, he's a manly role model. I know. Leave the guy alone. At least he's doing what he's doing, man. We all can't be king of the alpha males. And I think ultimately what this guy does is very important. Guys, please hit that like button. We've got over 60 people in the house. We're going to continue on here. We have a lot to do. We're 3 minutes out of 24 minutes, so we have plenty of material.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Richard, thanks for subscribing. Let's see. Red Pill Mamba says it's because most teachers are female. Female teachers need the system to be feminized because they're incapable of handling the boys' natural masculine energy, so they have to try to eliminate it. That's actually very true, because in Japan, like, it's I think the male teacher to female teacher ratio, I think, is like 45-55 with women winning 55%, but 45%. But one of the most alpha Japanese guys I ever met was this fucking teacher. He's like this 27-year-old guy, a little short guy too, like probably 5'6", but this guy was a cunning, charming motherfucker. This guy was too good, and he was a great example to the kids. His students were some of the top performing students in the school. The guy was just fucking alpha male, man, in every sense of the world, in every sense of the word. So, where are the parents? Yeah, that's another thing. We're going to talk about all that. Check this out. Let's go back to this interview here. So, let's continue.
Become future oriented, and we'll see later, that is one of the goals of our program. Young men are 25% more likely to live at home with their parents permanently now. There used to be empty net syndrome. Parents were sad when their children left. The boys are not leaving. They're staying in their room.
That's happening in Japan as well. I think this is all like just following the industrialized nations. 25% of all guys live at home with their parents now. They call this in Japan, they call these parasite children. Like, so children that like basically don't want to move on and move out from your household. So they get a job, they still work or whatever, but they still live at home in order to minimize their expenses, and then they'll go out and have like, buy Louis Vuitton or do whatever they fucking want. But in Japan, these are called parasite children. But I think there's also like, I think that's why the Joker was so popular as well. We have, this guy, Arthur Fleck, who is the main character, and he's still living at home with his mom and stuff when, she's sick and she's older, so he's taking care of her. But I think that's kind of just more of what's happening in these days. Like, I don't know. For me, I couldn't wait to get out of the house. I couldn't wait to move out on my own. And more as I do this channel and share my story with people, more I realize that I'm just not like the average fucking person. And so, 25% of all men are just living at home with their parents now and not doing anything. Like, think about it.
The problem is they say they don't do anything. They don't help with chores. They say, I am entitled to it because I'm a boy, I'm a man. The most amazing thing I discovered in our research is that single mothers are on the rise everywhere in the world. 41% of all women in America who have children are single mothers. The most amazing thing I
Look at this.
discovered.
This is the cause of it all right here. And I can tell you firsthand as a guy who's gone through it. Fatherlessness right there. The number one cause worldwide. When you take out the father from a child's life, whether the child is a boy or a girl, there's devastating results. You see all this bullshit now, like where people are saying like, well, I'm one parent, but I could be a mom and a dad. No, you can't. No, you can't. You're not going to just deny billions of years of evolution and scientific data. This compounding in your demise if you believe that, that a mother can do the same job as a father and a father can do the same job as a mother. No, you've lost your fucking mind. And that's what he's talking about here. He's like, fatherlessness is the number one cause worldwide of this, right? Single mothers are on the rise everywhere. 41% of women with children in the United States are single mothers. That means 41% of the children in the United States are going to grow up harder than they should because the psychological stats are there. There's a lot of damage done from single mother household. Far more than single father household, crazily so. But it is what it is. And we can sit here and try to blame everybody, find out everywhere, anything but holding women accountable. That just seems to be the name of the game in America. Just do anything to find a reason to acquit her. But there could just be some just good old-fashioned truth behind this stuff that, hey, maybe you shouldn't, be a single mom. Maybe that's not the best situation. I doubt out of 41% of all these women with single moms, I doubt every single guy was beating the absolute shit out of her. And, I'm pretty sure some of them just went the single mom route out of being just pretty much selfishness. Rate is 50%. Boys with no father, for women, mothers under 30 years old. Crazy. No father. 25% in the UK and in Poland equals millions of fatherless boys. And then it says mothers stressed boys with poorer social development, ADHD, and behavioral problems. Yeah, see, poorer social development, because you got to have the father in there to if the father is not active in helping raise the child, you're going to get somebody grown up to be like socially retarded in a way that, sometimes manifest in the reason why some of you guys are here, because you just like you didn't cultivate the right social skills and now you're having trouble dating. Like this shit all adds up, big time, extremely big time. Let me go back here to the chat and see what you guys are up to. You only broadcast audio from the TED Speak. Oh, do I? Shit. Well, good to know. John is a hikikomori, a Japanese incel. For the most part, yeah. Avoid marriage at all costs. Keep your retirement from yourself, says Rick Torres. Good advice. My parents are in marriage now, 51 years. Good stuff. My mother practically kidnapped me. Was horrible. What up, folks? What's up, Flowmaster? Screen share. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got to go back. I'll listen to that. Mother used to say, I am father and I am mother. I will teach you how to be a man. But unfortunately, I had to teach myself with an internet help. Don't worry. At least you did it. You're a huge guy, too. You're a big fucking motherfucker. You're a Superman. Don't worry. Ben Jones, single mother households will grow as men figure out they shouldn't wife them up. Yes. Congrats, Ben. Mine made 55 years before mom died. Oh, sorry to hear that, BJ. She's fucking mental as fuck now. Oh, God. I've never met a single mother, including my own mother, that was not selfish and crazy. Yeah. It was only for the last clip we got the rest. Video was good. Okay, my parents are still together, but my mom walks all over my father. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Be the example you want to see in this world. Be the change you want to see, guys. Okay. I think this is very funny. It says mother stress. I think boys with poor social development, ADHD, and behavior problems. I wonder if this is because these moms are more likely to take their child to government-appointed healthcare, and the government's going to look at the kid and be like, oh, this kid, he's just like a normal hyper kid. Like, oh, he has ADHD. Because if you don't think that they want to just drug you up from the moment you're able to, like, consume drugs and keep you on those drugs for the rest of your life, you have lost your mind, because you do not understand how ruthless these pharmaceutical companies can be. Let's continue on here.
The most amazing thing I discovered in our research is that single mothers are on the rise everywhere in the world. 41% of all women in America who have children are single mothers, no husband. This gets worse if you look at women who are 30 years old or younger. The figure goes to 50%. That means one of every two boys in America whose mother is 30 years old has no father. That means grows up, and sometimes almost from the time they are babies. It's better in the UK and Poland. It's only 25%. But translate 25% of the Polish population into the numbers, it's millions of young boys. Your young boys are growing up without a father. And in a minute I'll say, girls need fathers as much as boys do, but boys need fathers in special ways. Also, we now know single mothers often have one or two jobs. If they have several children, they're always under high levels of stress.
Yes, it's so true.
High levels of stress gets transmitted to the boys in various ways. And we see these boys having not only poor social development, they're probably many of the boys that Agnieszka talked about, and they are labeled, they're likely to have attention deficit disorder, which I'll talk about in a minute. And finally, they have many behavioral problems in school and in society. If you have no father in the family, the social economic status drops significantly because you don't have two salaries, you only have one. Even for young men who have a father, the fathers are psychologically absent. Our research in America says, on average, a boy talks to his father or a father talks to a boy 30 minutes a week. That same boy sits in front.
That's a crime right there, honestly. If you're a bad father, seriously, if you're like just like a deadbeat backseat father, just shame on you. You're a fucking shithead. You just got to do your job. Can you imagine that, having a relationship with your son and like barely even communicating with the kid, just being some fucking workhorse? Unbelievable. That really pisses me off. Of all the things, that really fucking fires me up. Yeah, it's just fucking all crazy, man. Will be fucking crazy. Richard Appleton, they'll be out. They're gonna be out soon. They're being edited right now. It's over 70 hours of footage, so somebody has to sit there and watch all the 70 hours of the footage, rewind, cut, delete, copy, paste, all these things. So it's being processed right now. Tony S says, as a kid, I was always stressed about money. My mom is horrible with money. Yeah, my mom was too, dude. It was so terrible. You shouldn't have the stress of money as a kid. You should just be a fucking kid. Like, there's more and more research surfacing showing that, like, as long as the kid feels loved and like safe and secure, the kid, as long as you like just develop the child's self-esteem, he's gonna tackle life and kill it like perfectly. So that's like my brother's doing his kids right now. Like they're being homeschooled and like because the kids went to, you know, my brother's child went to public school, and he was crying for 2 days. He was like, dude, he said he hated it. He didn't feel good. He didn't like what they were trying to tell him to do. He didn't like any of that stuff, and they trusted him, and they took him out, and now he's just doing homeschool. But honestly, I don't trust the mainstream education vehicle with my children at all. Hell no. Not at all. No, sir. My parents are far from perfect, but their choice to homeschool me up until high school is a decision I'm eternally grateful they made. I bet you, dude, they're smart parents, man. It takes just because people have children doesn't mean they're good parents. I've seen so many people with children that are just fucking terrible parents. Highborn says, my parents divorced when I was 4. In high school dorm, all boys had to man the fuck up, not get bullied. Worked out fine. Now I just gotta learn how to date. You'll get in a body language mastery, man. I don't know what you're dragging your ass around. You've been around this chat for a while now. December 26th, motherfucker. Let's continue with Dr. Philip Zimbardo.
In front of a screen, computer screen or TV screen, 44 hours. So again, here's a major problem. Boys don't have a father physically present, and even when he's physically present, he's not emotionally, psychologically present in too many cases. Again, a big problem in America is, it may not be the same here, fewer.
Look at this. Half of teams report infrequent family dinners, 3 times or less per week. Those boys are 4 times likelier to use tobacco, 2.5 times likelier to use marijuana, 2 times likelier to use alcohol, 4 times likelier to engage in future illegal drug use. So that's another thing I've noticed is ultimately in the United States, like, everything seems to be championed except for like being a good family in America. Like I noticed, like, every fucking basic bum bitch wants to be like, oh, I'm boss bitch, #boss bitch. I work 9 to 5. I'm a fucking boss. No, you're a corporate slave and a cog, you idiot. Jesus Christ. People like Dan Bilzerian are championed as well, right? Which, whatever, Dan Bilzerian, Dan is who he is, right? But like that Chad lifestyle is super and celebrated, right? And of course, like if you're a girl, you can fuck anything that walks, and how dare you say anything about her? Like you're not even allowed to have an opinion. You're just like supposed to blindly be like, yes, I approve. Yes, I support this no matter what. She's empowering herself by getting ran through, right? And it's like that's just like what you're supposed to say according to societal standards, which is fucking retarded. But nobody's championing families. Like when they try to have the straight pride parade in Boston, like all the LGBT, LMNOP, 559, whatever people got fucking all upset and like said, oh, well, these people should not be able to have a straight pride and where they celebrate, heterosexuality and really the reason for homosexuality is heterosexuality. So when they talk about that, celebrating the family, it's not okay. Like the family is not like, people more so ridicule the family in the United States than they celebrate it. When family should be the number one thing that's celebrated. And when you talk about somebody being raised in a proper environment, proper upbringing, mentally stable, a member of society that contributes, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm reflecting on here. Is like a lot of these things, it's funny. It's very funny. A lot of the guys who like start off talking about dating and stuff, right? We all start in the surface layer, but then we start doing a deep psychological dive on the culture and finding out what exactly is the reason for the atmosphere to be the way it is, and they become cultural critics and cultural analysts and everything. And that's what I've noticed with what's going on in the States. And States is fucking insane, guys. God bless all you guys that are in the States, but it can still be done. But oh boy, I'm glad to be abroad. I am glad to be abroad. That's crazy. 44 hours. When's 44 hours? Oh yeah, the screen time, right? Arrow 40 funny, money not found. Oh, that sucks. My mom used to always say, "I'm so sick of not having money," in the most cringe ways. I used to hear that quote in my nightmares. It's good. That's funny that you guys are saying that. My mom said the exact same thing when we were growing up. It was always, "We never have enough money. We never have enough money." And have you ever seen like these chicks you're dating on, who are like Miss #boss bitch? Like they're always just a financial ruin. If you're so boss, why aren't you paying for everything, right? You're #boss bitch. Oh, because I'm a lady. Okay, shut the fuck up. Let's talk about having dinner. Guys, it's important. It's important in real life too, okay? Let me go back to my fucking soapbox. Hold on. It's important in real life too, guys. You have to get together with people in real life, okay? I had an official hot dude meeting the other day. Charlie, Jacob, my buddy who's here in town, Eddie, Mac, and myself. We all went to Hooters for lunch, and you gotta link up with people in real life. You can't just be a loner and expect to make it off, and be socially normal too, right? Having dinner with people, having people check you and stuff. If you're like chewing your mouth open or you're being a fucking slob when you eat, and you're like, "Hey, dude, you're kind of being disgusting." Like, you kind of keep each other in check, and you just kind of let everybody know, you can be a capable member of society. So for a lot of you guys that like go into like this kind of fucking recluse mode, or you're always hiding in your house, and that's weird, guys. Get out there and socialize with people, especially if you have access to your family. Go fucking sit down and eat lunch and dinner or whatever with your family. It's going to make you more normal. Let's continue checking this out.
Fewer and fewer families have regular sit-down family dinners. Again, I come from a Sicilian background, and having family dinners is the most important thing, lunch and dinner, because you share values. What we look is boys who do not come from a family that don't have regular family dinners. Here are the consequences. They are 4 times more likely to smoke, and we know smoking kills. Smoking causes lung cancer. They are 2.5 times more likely to use marijuana. They are 2 times likely to use alcohol, and even more important is they are 4 times likely to engage in hard drug use later in life.
I can definitely plead guilty to all of those 4 previous as a guy coming from a fatherless household. I can say that so far this is surprisingly true. However, let that be a testimony to you guys that no matter how much of a shitty situation you're in, you can definitely pull yourself up to the literal top 10% of America. So keep that in mind.
There was a Harvard study of Harvard graduates that they followed these men throughout their life. And when they were older, they wanted to know, these are men who were successful. What was important in your success? It had nothing to do with how rich your family was, had nothing to do with how rich you was. It was the only issue that mattered was the warmth of their childhood. When they remembered back to their childhood, the ones who were successful always remembered having a warm childhood, and specifically it was related to how close you felt to your father. So here's...
Think about, let's just take that, especially for boys, your closeness and your relationship with your father. And
2015 was my year.
thank you for the donation.
2016 is also my year. Every year is my fucking year.
Hologram with the $2 says, John, come have dinner with me and my mom. Love Hollow. Anytime. Guys, if you want to support me, go ahead and click on that link right there, streamlabs.com/Modern Life Dating Channel. All the proceeds go towards making the show more awesome. Thank you so much for the donation, Hologram. Trophy Dolphins in the house. What's up, man? Chris Z, what's up? Return of the Mac. First time watching, John. What am I in for? Well, exactly what the title says, Mr. Return of the Mac. Why boys and men are being left behind in society. We're reviewing a TED Talk right now. Felix, what's up? How's it going? Could you put the link to the video? Yes, I can, Mr. Jackson. This is the TED Talk by Dr. Philip Zimbardo. There you go. It's in the chat right now. John, the greatest thing I ever did was have 2 boys. Love talking with them about everything, especially girls in game. They're going to be sharks in a fish tank. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hologram, so glad you're in here. Hope you're doing well and have a productive day. Me too, pal. All 5 of my siblings turned to drugs. I use sex to feel good. It's a crazy to know the statistics. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you. Let's go back, shall we? Let's continue. This is I love this study, but I think it's very important to just kind of be aware of what's going on. And there's some critical errors he makes in regards to like the actual way to solve this. So I have my own little take as well. But let's listen to Dr. Philip Zimbardo.
Men who were successful had a childhood where they think back, we call it past positive, and I was close to my father, he was close to me. The main difference,
2015 was my year.
main difference between men...
2016 is also my year. Every year is my fucking year.
Chris Z with the $9.99 donation says, if prostitution were legalized throughout the United States, what effect would it have on dating, sexual marketplace, and intergender dynamics as a whole? I think it would actually have a very positive effect. Right now, women are pedestalized just for the simple fact that they can give you sex. That's literally the only reason they're pedestalized in the States. That, and you can play the capitalism game and just milk women financially, because that's what a lot of business models are doing right now. Just target women. That's why Old Spice turned around their entire marketing campaign. It was to target women, because they found out women were the ones buying all of the household products for like washing and stuff of men. So they turned the whole company around, and it was a chain effect of monkey see, monkey do. And obviously you see some people like Gillette try to take it to an extreme and it blows up in their face because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. But I think that, yeah, if prostitution were legalized, 100%, there would be a big positive shift, because guys would be like, well, okay, fuck this girl. Like, I spend $200, $300, $400 on a date after date after date, or go pay $120 for 20 minutes, get my rocks off, go out about my day, go get one in before the gym, do what you got to do. And honestly, a lot of girls would sign up and be those prostitutes too, so they would make a lot of money as well. I think it would be beneficial for a lot of people. Just have, you see, the thing with the chicks in the States is like, they got no reason to keep themselves in check. There's no competition anxiety, because here's how obesity screws up the sexual marketplace. So you have girls at the bottom of the sexual attractiveness tier that get fat, right? What they do is because women and sex in itself is a commodity, right? So guys just value having sex, just pretty much as long as it's new. Most guys will give it a go, right? So at the bottom half of all of the dating area, right, that gets saturated with big girls that are just basically, ones and twos and threes, right? All low level. But what they do is girls that are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and up, this artificially inflates their value, because now the fact that like, oh, she's not fat, that becomes like a positive buying point compared to like, when you live in like places like in Asia where pretty much every girl is thin, or a staggering majority of them are thin. Vietnam, like I said, Thailand, Korea not so much, Japan definitely, China definitely. So that's how that messes up that ecosystem. And it the girls that are higher value, they believe that they are even of more value, especially as they go up in hotness, their attitude kind of goes up because they realize they're better than most girls in their atmosphere. But that just happens to be the atmosphere of the United States. But that's just one thing. So they always know like, oh, well, yeah, I have this high level of, vagina that I bring to the table, so I can get away with certain things. But if there's an option for a guy just to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go buy some vagina, like it's kind of like the legalization of marijuana. It's been nothing but positive. I think the same thing with prostitution, and it'll shift things in another way. Like if a guy gets in a fight with his girlfriend, is it illegal to go bang a prostitute? Shouldn't be. So morally frowned upon, probably, sure, but who cares? Got to do what you got to do. I think it's a good thing overall. Let's continue. Guys, if you want to send me something, remember, use this link right here, okay? Streamlabs.com/Modern Life Dating Channel. That is the way I make sure that I get all of the money you're donating. Because when you donate through the YouTube, it takes 30%. Okay? We're trying to get that message through the hologram. One day it'll sink in, hopefully. So let's go back to the presentation here.
Men and women, between mothers and fathers. Mothers in general give love unconditionally.
Yep.
If a boy comes home with bad grades, mother hugs him and says, "I love you anyway."
This is what he says right here is so fucking profound. What he says right here truly blew my mind. Check this out. So he says, mothers love unconditionally, which is so true, but too much of that will fuck you up. And then he talks about fathers love, and listen to that here.
Father says, no, you got to perform. You got to get my respect. You have to perform in school. You have to perform athletically. So fathers give love conditionally. That means when you don't have a father, you lose this extrinsic motivation to perform. And boys need that more than girls.
That's why, when you have the guys that are like, either the house is run by the mom or they're single mom, and then they're just saying like, always like, oh, unconditional love, no matter what. Like you can go out and fucking, get a bachelor's degree over a period of 7 years in like, fitness and nutrition, right? And the moms are like, well, at least you did it. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. The moms unconditionally love you. But when you have like a strong, men, you have to earn their respect, right? I don't meet just anybody and just give them respect off the top of the bat. I mean, of course, I give them like the gentleman's respect, if you will. But I got to see what this guy's about. What strengths and does he bring to the table? Is he capable? Can he make money? Can he bang some broads? Is he strong? Does he have a good uppercut? I need to know about this guy. And so that's part of like the whole natural male to male kind of like screening system we have for each other. And he talks about here, like, the father's love is conditional. And it's true. Like, no, if I have a kid, I'm not going to be happy with no fucking loser. If my kid always brought home the last place trophy, I'm like, damn, fucking, we need to take this kid out back and throw him some perfect spirals or whatever he's failing at. We need to train at this shit. Right? Like, he's got to at least improve. I just can't have a kid that's just constantly bringing home the last place trophy. That's just me. I don't want to fucking, winning. You want to raise them with the habit of winning, not losing. So, that, again, like I saw that in Joker, the mom is just like, everything's okay. It's okay. You're still like, now you're in your 40s and you're just a clown. But it's okay. It's okay. Like, mothers live unconditionally, and that is not necessarily good for the development of men.
Boys now are escaping to the internet virtual worlds of video games, and now for the first time ever, pornography, which is available all the time.
Yeah.
Pornography is available now 24/7 in every country in the world. It never was that way before. If men wanted to see pornography, they had to go to a pornography gallery, or they were always embarrassed to go in. Somebody might see them. Anybody, anytime, anywhere, any age, without control, has before them an endless array of pornography, which we will look at a little in a moment.
And, I mean, you guys know my view on porn, but if you're trying to get your dating life sorted out, stop. Stop looking at porn, dude. I used to be addicted to that shit myself, guys. I'll tell you that shit. I used to be addicted to that shit when I was, younger, and I just didn't know of the psychological and health effects that it has on you. But there's just tons and tons of data. I mean, from premature ejaculation to fucking erectile dysfunction to, fucking compulsive masturbatory behaviors. There's so many things that just watching porn can fuck you up with. For a lot of you guys that don't know, some countries porn is technically illegal. Like in Russia porn is illegal. In Korea, most internet places in all of Korea block access to porn. Of course you can still access it, but it's technically illegal. The amount of devastating effects porn has on you is so fucking terrible. And honestly, there's no excuse. You just need to stop watching porn. It's not good for you at all. Highborn says, the real question is why the last place trophy exists. That's BS. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was just saying that just as an example. I mean, they're probably not going to bring anybody. I think you get a ribbon that just lets you know, you're fucking 7th place. China banned porn too. Interesting. Good stuff. Doing No Nut November and cut out porn, and yes, notice significant better success with women over the past weeks. Good stuff. Casey, what's up, man? Casey said, my son on his math test, I told him that he missed Mars. 1% off calculation list. Martinez got a bunch of dead astronauts. He's done very, very well in math ever since then. I don't understand what that means. My son on his math test, I told him that he missed Mars. 1% off calculation list. Martinez got a bunch. I don't understand what that means. In Russia, you need no porn. Porn is outside the house. Tons of hot women. Yeah, that's another thing too. Text to speech sucks. Okay, that's what I figured. I was like, Casey's not dumb, so this must be some kind of fucking text error. Generally, I don't like Philip Zabarro. Thanks so much, Christian. Appreciate that. Christoph, rather. Thank you. He's actually in Poland in this TED Talk. But let's continue here. Are you guys liking this? Give me a 2 in the chat if you're actually finding value of this episode. Is this episode valuable to you? Can you press the number 2? Let me know. Or if you hate it, press the number 1. If you think this is garbage and this is terrible and it's not entertaining, give me a 1. Be honest. Be frivolous with the ones if you think I deserve one. Got a lot of 2s so far. 2. Jack Napier with a 2. Jack Napier is still listening and is strong. 3 with the Christian Soto. I guess that must be 1 plus 2. So he loves it and he hates it. 3, it transcends both 1 and 2. Thank you very much, Return of the Mac. 1, Adam Simmons. Thank you for your honesty. 2. More TED Talk. Okay. Looks like most people are liking it. I've seen it already, but I'm always down for a case study. Good stuff. 0.223. Thank you, Ethereal Warrior. All right. Well, how about this? You guys ready? Let's take a look at this promo for Body Fitness Max. Let's take a look one more time. Don't let that nunchuck nightmare come for you. You better get your ass in line. December 2nd. I'm telling you, that is the day the free course comes out. Eric Von Weedle says, the volume, dude. Sorry, man. Sorry, Eric. I know it's a little out. It's a little loud. God bless you. John Van Dam. Oh, God. All right, let's get back to this. Check this out, boys. Guys on Instagram, stream is ending in 1 minute. Get on over to YouTube now.
And The pornography is ready to turn boys on. But their brains are becoming digitally rewired because they are spending so much time in this new digital world. So the average boy plays video games 13 hours a week, much more than girls.
Hours
we'll say
week.
why girls don't play.
13 hours a week of video games is that you're saying average guys playing now. Now, again, as you guys know, I'm not anti-video game. Okay? Obviously, I play games myself. I do believe that if you work hard, you can live a fucking balanced lifestyle that allows you to play games. And honestly, all the people who say, like, oh, playing video games is dumb. No, this is like when I see people, and again, this is no offense to anybody, but when I see guys like just always walking around smoking cigars, I just think like this is so fucking dumb. Why are you just walking around puffing on a cigar? You can't even inhale it, can't even get you high, nothing. I just think it's stupid, right? But does it mean that that is completely invalid of a choice in the hobby? No, it doesn't at all. But it's the same thing about video games. Like, just because you're too dumb to figure it out, it doesn't mean that it's not fucking good. So he does go in a little bit here on the video games, and I think 13 hours a week, if you're not doing anything, is excessive. Like, if you're not like working on a side hustle, whatever. Like, sometimes when I would work in the corporate world, I would work obviously 40 hours a week. I can't remember the last time I didn't work 40 hours a week, other than with the shift and things this year. But I've always been working so hard my whole life. So I always had like a mainstream hustle, and then I had a little side hustle. But even during that, I would only be playing like, I would probably crack out on a weekend or two if a new game came out, play like, 5-6 hours per day. But I would also be killing it in real life. So there has to be balance. So keep that in mind.
Play as much as boys. That's the average. That means somebody is playing 26 hours a week, and we'll see in a moment even more. That adds up to the whole month of February, 24 hours a day. Jane McGonigal, who's the author of a whole book on gaming, says that by the time a boy is 21 years old, he has spent 10,000 hours playing video game. That's the average boy. At that time, he could have gotten 2 bachelor's degrees from the university.
So again, I think that's pretty alarming numbers, to be honest. No wonder there's so many of these little fat fuckers running around. If that's true, now I'm okay if the kid is playing games like that are logic based. Like if he's playing like Big Brain Academy or chess or some kind of analytical building game like a real estate tycoon or when you have to run a business. That kind of stuff I'm okay with. But if it's just like completely brain dead and he's not getting any benefits or skills out of it, like then you have to really take a look at the parents at that point. Because 10,000 hours before the age of 21. So that means he's been an adult for 3 years. That means, just giving some rough numbers. That's like, 7,000 hours that he didn't use as a minor under his parents' watch, and then assuming 1,000 a year, right, going from age 10, then the rest is on the parents, and that's really, really there's a really bad parenting epidemic going on in the States as well. That's another thing I've noticed. A lot of this is it's so true because when you have some parents, they're just like don't want to deal with the kid, so they'll just fucking hand them an iPad to have the kid shut up, or buy him a Nintendo DS, or buying a PlayStation Portable, PS Vita, whatever the fucking new thing is these days. You got parents doing that, and that's you got to take an active role in the parenting of your children, or they're gonna become little fucking retards.
So again, video games are designed by men for men, and they are captivating. They are enchanting. So the reason why it's so excessive, boys have few outlets for expression. Society is telling boys that their inner world, their personal narrative, is not interesting or not acceptable. These games are designed by men for men, and they have male values: domination, competition, aggression, violence.
Hear that? Let's hear those again.
World, their personal narrative is not interesting or not acceptable. These games are designed by men for men, and they have male values: domination, competition, aggression, violence.
Domination, competition, aggression, violence. It's fucking sounds like a solid afternoon to me. And he's right. That's what men want. Like, you know, like if anybody, you guys who have anybody who's been in a team sport or has anybody ever been in a situation where you're just supposed to beat the other guy, right? We're all men here, right? How many of you guys have like wanted to beat somebody so bad, like you wanted to beat them 100-0, like no matter what it was, you just wanted to fucking smite them into the ground? I remember I used to play this with Yu-Gi-Oh. I still do it with Call of Duty to this day, with Soul Calibur, with Jiu-Jitsu, with wrestling, with sparring, financially with business rivals. I want to go scorched earth, motherfucker. I want to burn every single opposition straight to the fucking ground. That's just the kind of guy I am. If I'm Monopoly with 4 hotels on it, I want you to pay me your fucking life salary if you land on Park Place, you son of a bitch. 4 hotels, suck it. Pay up everything right now. Yeah. Was it 4 houses? 4 houses, then it gets to a hotel, right? Just put a hotel. Fucking go straight to the hotel. That's what men like. And honestly, yeah, it's becoming harder and harder for guys to just find an emotional outlet. You know, like with fighting being frowned upon. Thank God for the UFC, but like, you know, people are saying like, "Oh, don't be so violent. Why are you so violent?" It's like, I'm a man, fucking asshole. That's like what I am. Like, my ancestor would have smashed your head on a rock by now for talking to me in such a fashion, you know? So, he's very on point here with what's going on with what men want and how people are finding this in video games, and it's so fucking true. So let's continue on, shall we?
Women reject those kind of values. Now, there are some games which are more socially oriented, which women are beginning to play. There are clear and simple goals. The rewards are guaranteed once you reach a certain skill level, and nothing else in life is equally true for boys. So gaming and porning are part of now living online. So they are part of the whole internet revolution. These boys are spending time not only doing this, they're watching videos on YouTube, they're searching, they have Facebook. And so the problem is they are sacrificing being in the real world of us, real world of flesh and blood. And they don't know they're sacrificing it because they have given up on us. The reason I said earlier is that it's here to stay. The video game industry is a multi-million-dollar industry.
So he's very dated on this information. He says the video game industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. That's incorrect. The video game industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. If you were to take all of Hollywood and all of music and add it together, it would not equate to how large the video game industry is. So when he's talking about this, it's pretty widespread.
Many different corporations who are competing with each other, and they're competing for the minds and eyes and fingers of young men. And the pornography industry, which is a little newer as an industry, is equally a multi-million-dollar business. And
again, it says pornography is multi-million. I'm pretty sure pornography is multi-billion. I wouldn't be shocked. But just multi-million sounds too small for pornography. And definitely too small for video games.
Businesses make more money, for example, than all the Hollywood movies and all of and almost any other major business. Warning for children audience, there will be a few brief pornography scenes. So as I said, it's freely accessible, and the key is it's anonymous. The porn audience is 75% male. And of some of these sites, you have to pay, and 98% of men are the ones who pay with their credit card.
I truly just never understood guys that paid for porn. I just don't understand it.
But we learned, at least in America, the average boy is not watching porn 2 hours a week. That's the average. That means some are watching 4 or more hours a week. And usually it's the break. You're playing video games 3 or 4 hours, you get a little tired, you switch to pornography, okay?
Yeah, I just don't know what to say. 2 hours a week of pornography, that's a lot. That's a lot of dick beating.
And then you go back to the game. In the United Kingdom, Pornhub, this site, was the 31st most visited website for children ages 6 to 14. I mean, the other websites are doing Google searches.
This is another thing when I see like parents giving their kids like a cell phone, like a smartphone, like, here you go, Timmy. You're fucking 9. Here's unlimited information. Good Lord. No. Yeah, my kids, they have special cell phones in Japan that like actually have you're only allowed to text message and call. There's no internet access, and there's like an emergency, like push this button if you're being abducted. But other than that, the kids don't get access to the internet like that. And I think it's true, man. You can't be giving these kids dude, listen, if you give a fucking 12-year-old boy access to the internet, he's going to look up some porn. Every fucking kid has done it before. And they're going to hide it from mom and dad, and you're not going to fucking find it. So just be careful how much access you're letting these fucking kids get to. Let's see. How the hell could they know the ages of people watching? What bullshit. I think, dude, you'd be surprised how much data you're sending out over the internet, man. You'd be surprised. If I had a couple, I could have you send me an email, Adam, and I could probably track your GPS location. So, yeah, it's a very big, interesting statistic here. Let's go back to this.
Wikipedia, other thing. So children 6 years old are visiting this website not once but regularly. The problem is, in many cases, it becomes addictive. It's both the number of hours.
And you can argue with everything about how they track the age or whatever, but you can't argue with that we all know. Well, I would hope not everybody, but I can just tell you that porn can become addictive. It can be, and it's no bueno. Don't recommend it. Definitely don't recommend it for your dating life.
You play, but also addiction, it's an arousal addiction. Once you start playing, you need it more and more. So the psychological addiction is when I'm not playing the game, I'm thinking about it. When I'm in class, I wish I were playing the game. When we're having a family dinner, I wish I was playing the game. And pornography is the same. That addiction is a preference for this over everything else in the world, and everything else in the world gets boring. School gets boring, and now even girls get boring compared to what they see in pornography. And the arousal addiction, as I mentioned, in drug addiction, you want more of the same. You want more heroin, you want more cocaine. Here, what you want is novelty. You want change. Mm-hmm. And the video industry is going to give you change, and the pornography industry has infinite variety.
Come on, some of you motherfuckers know what he's talking about. When you start watching, when busty blondes aren't enough, and you need to start watching busty lesbian blondes, and then you need to start watching gangbangs, and then you need to start watching fucking snuff videos. You know what I'm talking about. It's a chain reaction that just keeps going and going and going, and yeah, it can evolve into something pretty fucking terrible if you don't get that thing under control. Return of the Mac said, did he just say he's young as 6 years old? Yep. Why I don't allow my daughter electronics with internet access? Dude, you're smart, Bull Rush, especially because she's a daughter. You better keep the fucking internet far away from her. 12 is a conservative age for boys to start watching porn. When I was 10, I started, and I didn't have a smartphone until high school. I can only imagine how young kids are watching earlier than me. Yeah, exactly. I saw my first porn when I was like 10 years old because my friend, he had found his dad's dirty porn magazine and dirty porn videos, and then we were watching them when they were at school or when they were at work. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Like, you got to be careful who you let your kids go hang out with, whose house they're chilling at and stuff. That's where I saw all the most fucked up shit. It was never in my house. It was always in the house of someone else. Stay out of the miscellaneous category. One seen can't be unseen. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's so true. When I was young, I had to beat my meat to the lingerie section of the Sears catalog. Oh, God. Macy's catalog. Rick Torres, you know about that. Good Lord. I saw my first porn on VHS at 7. My best friend had a stash from an older brother. Exactly. See, it's always happening outside. But let's continue talking about this because this makes a lot of good sense. Glad you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, the what did I fap to is real.
So, but the interesting thing now is the brain quickly adapts to this high level of stimulation. Initially, it's rewarding, but over time, you fail to be able to get sexually aroused, physically aroused. And there's a new phenomenon called PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction.
Don't get pied, boys. Don't get pied. Porn-induced erectile dysfunction. This is true, too. Sometimes I have consultations, which if you want a consultation, don't forget, click on that link right there in the chat. Send $70 and you'll be booked instantaneously. Streamlabs.com/Modern Life Dating Channel, or go to modernlifedating.com and book your coaching there today. Porn-induced erectile dysfunction. I talked to a lot of guys who have, dating trouble, and then they talk about, can't get it up on dates and stuff. I'm like, well, are you beating your fucking dick like it owes you money? And they're like, well, yeah, 3-4 times a week. I'm like, well, dude, there's your fucking problem right there. Like, your hand is way more coarse and more violent than the inside of a vagina. So just go get some pussy the old-fashioned way. Stop doing this shit because you're fucking yourself up. The arousal addiction is very true as well. Porn users crave novelty change. That's true, man. Same thing with when you get a lot of girls. That's why you gotta take a break once in a while. If you start getting too much pussy, then you're like, oh, I want 5 girls a day. I want 7 girls a day. It just keeps growing. It's just human nature.
So now you have this paradox. The boy is watching this really exciting stuff, and he no longer can get an erection. He no longer can enjoy even masturbating. The problem with video games is that size is everything. The men in the video games have enormous penises. The women are incredibly beautiful.
I don't know where you got that stat from. That's the one thing I was like, huh? But yeah, apparently, I don't know.
And stunning. But the women in these are almost always degraded.
Yeah, that's what makes video games fun. That's where I disagree with him a little bit.
Young men everywhere have developed performance anxiety about sex, young men and old men, because it's not always possible to get an erection, it's not always possible to sustain it. And in these videos, men appear to have unlimited nonstop sex for 30 minutes. And it's all physical performance. Again, in the older pornography, there was a story, there was a narrative. No story. As soon as it begins, people are either already undressed or they're undressing each other. And it's all about physical performance. For me, what's terrible, what's missing is romance. No, there's no kissing. There's no touching. There's no talking. There's no communicating boundaries. And it's never, ever a hint of safe sex. So let me quickly shift out of that. Boys, for the first time in history, are getting less education than their fathers.
So, moral of the story, don't check out porn. Now we're going to talk about failing school systems with the boys. This is something I've witnessed firsthand as well. Very interesting to pay attention to this, especially if you have some sons. You got to take a hands-on approach in their education. It's just so fucking true. Highborn says, I don't get the rage. Finally, I can kill... Let's just delete that. Let's see. Wait, what happened? Did I get this disappeared? Copyright? What? It's temporarily blocked because. Oh. Oh, let's see. Oh, did I get it? Am I back? It's happening right now. Uh-oh. Let's see. All right. Looks like I'm back. Okay. Okay, looks like I got copyright striked by talking about yeah, I guess it was too much tracing going on with the TED Talks. Oh, because they're verified, I guess that's what it is. I don't understand why I would have gotten a strike though. Let's see. Men cannot help. Okay. Well, let's just see. It says stream unavailable, stream suspended for policy violations. Let me just see. Okay. Well, let's just review it like this then, shall we? Okay. So we'll just do this right here. So it says boys are getting less education than their fathers. Boys are more likely to drop out of school, repeat a grade, get 70% of D's and F's, 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD. This is not something biological. Okay, this is corporate right here. 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD, be forced to take meds, Ritalin to focus better. This is 100% a societal problem that we could literally pull off of this chart survey thing here, if you will. Boys, year to year and a half behind girls in school. So let's see. Here he talks about the why. School is a girl's thing. Only 1 out of 9 school teachers is a man. That's in the United States. Early experiences frame interest in learning. Boys' brains not as receptive to reading and writing exercises in kindergarten. Yeah, because they're just raging. They're running around. Teachers' bias against boys. Gender gap shrinks by a third when teachers grade test anonymously. This is what really bothered me, is when parents in the or when teachers in the United States would grade a boy, if they knew he was a boy, they would grade him far more harshly than if they knew he was not a boy. That's what they say. Gender gap shrinks by a third when teachers grade tests anonymously. That means 33% chance they have like a unhealthy bias or unconscious bias against boys, which is pretty alarming actually. That's the one thing that I saw that really made me fucking get alarmed. Yeah, I love how you guys are just lit. Can you make a credit so you can use it? John, can you try to play it at a different speed? Maybe YouTube won't detect that. No, I think YouTube will pick it up no matter what. I'm not trying. I'm not going to risk it again. Just go check out this one on your own in the meantime. I mean, I think I did a pretty good justice here. Why are boys failing? Philip DeBardo, Ted, Rawa, River Salon. Let's go back. Let's read another slide here. Here he is. Environmental factors. This is very important. He talks about this. Calls fat ass nation. 70% of U.S. males are overweight. 70% of U.S. are, and a third are obese. 25% of men in the U.K. and Poland obese. Okay. Too much fat equals decreased testosterone, increased likelihood of type 2 diabetes, and decreased libido. Young gamers especially at risk because they are getting less sleep, make poorer food choices, and sit on their butt not burning any calories. Oh, I'm really bummed that they fucking flagged the stream because this is such a good episode. It was the Twitter Nazi police. Government is here. Support father role more in legislation. Get more men in grade school teaching positions with better salaries for teachers. That's huge. Get junk food out of schools. That is so fucking huge too in America. The junk food. The amount of like junk we get access to in the United States, like just the vending machines, just seeing like they're just basically filled with sugar and carbs. Like in my high school, looking back on it now, I don't even think about it because when you're young too, you can eat anything and you know not get fat. You just fucking shred through it. But yeah, there was a lot of like burgers and French fries and stuff like that. It was so wild. School says teach life skills. Personal finance is so important. Personal finance, applying for jobs is very good as well. Job interview skills and other adult responsibilities. Teach sex education, biology, and psychology of sex. Incorporate new technology and make learning more visual and interactive. Encourage mixed gender work, study team of a boy and a girl working together. Talking about parents. Parents teach responsibility and resiliency. Make weekly activity journal of all family members. Time doing each type of event action. Take technology out of the son's bedroom where possible or have limits. Dude, fucking, there should be no limits. You take that shit out of their room. Be a fucking parent, for Christ's sake. Regular family dinners with no cell phones. That's important too, for sure. Men, turn off games, turn off porn, turn on people. Make female friends, chat more, text less, learn how to dance. This is kind of boomer advice, but still pretty good stuff. Set long-term future goals in real world. Yes. Become future-oriented. Get educated. Yes. Get a mentor. Yes. Be a mentor. Yes. Start male mentoring groups. Get your ass on down to Hot Dude Con, boys. It's true. Exercise regularly outdoors in nature. There's few better things in this world than exercising out in the sun. Women, mothers, and sisters offer compassion, constructive criticism, and support. Show boys, men how to communicate feelings, values. No, don't agree with that. Engage in many activities with men as possible. Be flexible and encourage sharing of your new independence. That's also boomer talk. Media. More positive, realistic, varied portrayals of men in movies and media. That's huge. That's the biggest thing right there. Bigger than prescribing the kids ADHD medicine is this right here. Change gender bias in TV shows that make males be superheroes or fools around women. Yes, exactly. Need more pro-social video games in context and in closer social physical proximity to others. Playing side by side in 2 or 3 player teams. Yes, that's very good as well. Conclusion. We are sounding an alarm loud and clear. This is not a phase. It is not temporary. It can get worse if we ignore the downside to society. We need to show men that they are lovable and desirable, not disposable, and essential for creating the next better generation. Encourage boys, men, girls, women to become everyday heroes. Promote heroic imagination in all schools. To be hip. This is Dr. Philip Zimbardo. Why Are Boys Failing? July 30th, 2015. Absolute devastation that we had to get fucking canceled like that. But I think I did a good enough job to cover what was mainly conveyed in that YouTube video. You can go check it out yourself. Listen to it on your free time. Again, just rather unfortunate that YouTube blocked the stream. I mean, like, what are we? I don't know, like, if it's not copyright, like, I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. So, whatever. Rule Zero this Saturday is going to be on Richard Cooper's channel. And I will be on the episode myself and some of the other guys. We're talking about Dark Triad. Tomorrow, Free Consultation Friday is going to be live here on my channel. We will be doing the typical call-in show. If you get your call-ins for questions, you need a consultation, 100% for free, available tomorrow night, my night, your morning, Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, guys, don't forget Body Fitness Max comes out December 2nd. I am looking forward to releasing that with you guys, and it is going to be an amazing program, 100% for free. Apologize again for the technical difficulties, but it was without my doing. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow right here for Interview with the Man, episode 162, Free Consultation Friday. Until then,